Gimbel Brothers, known simply as Gimbels, was an American department store that opened in 1842 and closed in 1987. Thank you for your suggestion.
Ah, the holidays. Time for good cheer, friends, and Gimbel's $2,000 shopping spree, a winner in every store. When you come to Gimbel's two-day sale tomorrow and Saturday and enter to win our $2,000 shopping spree, this could be you. Santa could use a hand, you know, and what better time to try your luck? So watch for more great scenes like these in Santa Claus the Movie and enter the Gimbel's $2,000 shopping spree for a very happy holiday indeed.
The company was founded by a young Bavarian Jewish immigrant named Adam Gimbel, who opened a general store in Vincennes, Indiana. Adam had migrated from Bavaria, settled in New Orleans in 1835. 6 brothers and 2 sisters followed him to the United States. Adam was a peddler along the Mississippi River before opening a dry goods store in Vincennes, Indiana in 1842. By the time he sold his firm 40 years later, he owned 4 stores in Vincennes. The 2 eldest of Adam's 7 sons, Jacob and Isaac Gimbel, established a department store in Danville, Illinois in the 1880s. And when they found that the undertaking was unprofitable, they moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where they founded Gimbel Brothers. In 1894, they opened a second department store in Philadelphia, which was run by their brothers Charles and Ellis Gimbel. They had acquired the Granville Haynes store, which was originally built and operated by Cooper and Kennard in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Gimbels' first New York venture came in 1910 with the establishment of a department store at Herald Square, which grew rapidly when 2 older firms were merged with it. With its arrival in New York, Gimbels prospered and soon became the primary rival to the leading Herald Square retailer, Macy's, whose flagship store was located a block north. This rivalry entered into the American popular argot as, "Does Macy's tell Gimbels?" an idiom used to brush off any query about matters the speaker didn't wish to divulge. To distinguish itself from Herald Square neighbors, Gimbel's advertising promised more. Select, don't settle. Gimbel's became so successful that in 1922 the chain went public, offering shares on the New York Stock Exchange, though the family retained a controlling interest. The stock sales provided capital for expansion. Starting with the 1923 purchase of across-the-street rival, Saks & Company. Gimbel's created an uptown branch called Saks Fifth Avenue. The Gimbel chain was further extended in 1926 when it took over Kaufman & Baer of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. During the Great Depression, the chain stopped their expansion. However, Gimbel did increase the number of more upscale and enormously profitable Saks Fifth Avenue stores in the 1930s, opening branches in Chicago, Boston, and San Francisco. By 1930, Gimbel's had 7 flagship stores throughout the country and sales of over $123 million, which is about $2 billion today, across 20 stores. This made Gimbel Brothers, Inc. the largest department store corporation in the world. Gimbel's department store offered a variety of merchandise and products, including home appliances, outdoor equipment, furniture, clothing, and much more. With multiple floors in its flagship stores, each floor offered a given variety of merchandise. The Philadelphia Gimbels specifically offered fine jewelry, men's clothing, women's clothing, children's clothing, furniture, toys, art supplies, and appliances for the house. This store also contained the Gimbel Auditorium, television headquarters, a salon, music center, and with a variety of options, Gimbel's was a one-stop shop that made shopping easy and accessible. The company was known for creating the Gimbels Thanksgiving Day Parade, the oldest parade in the country, which was launched in 1920. Gimbels also gained publicity from movies like Miracle on 34th Street in 1947 and Fitzwillie in 1967, and was frequently mentioned as a shopping destination of Lucy Ricardo and Ethel Mertz on the hugely popular 1950s TV series I Love Lucy. In 1962, Gimbels acquired Milwaukee competitor Schuster's and for years operated stores here known as Gimbels Schuster's. By 1965, Gimbel Brothers Inc. operated 53 stores throughout the country, which included 22 Gimbels, 27 Saks Fifth Avenue stores, and 4 Saks 34th Street. Despite its limited presence, Gimbel's was well known nationwide, in part because of the carefully cultivated rivalry with Macy's, but also thanks to the endless stream of publicity. The New York store received considerable attention at the site of the 1939-1940 sale of art by William Randolph Hearst. The Slinky made its debut at the Northeast Philadelphia Gimbel's store. The Philadelphia Gimbels was also the first department store in the world to move customers from floor to floor via the escalator. Brown & Williamson, the American subsidiary of British American Tobacco, a diversified conglomerate based in Louisville, Kentucky, acquired Gimbels in 1973. Brown & Williamson also owned Marshall Field's, which they purchased in 1982, Frederick & Nelson, the Crescent stores, and Kohl's, purchased in 1972. Brown & Williamson later created the Battis Retail Group as a subsidiary company for its retail holdings. Battis initially left the Gimbels chain in the 4 autonomous divisions that had been established under Gimbel family ownership: Gimbels New York, Gimbels Philadelphia, Gimbels Pittsburgh, and Gimbels Milwaukee. Each division operated independently of each other in advertising and buying. Each division offered their own charge card, which could only be used at Gimbels stores in the same division. In 1983, Gimbels New York and Gimbels Philadelphia were combined into a single entity, Gimbels East, in an attempt to reduce corporate overhead. The parent company decided that Gimbels was a marginal performer with little potential for increased profitability. Battis, in 1986, decided to close its Gimbels division and sell its store properties. The Saks Fifth Avenue still survives today under different owners. Some of the more attractive branches were taken over by other department stores, and the iconic buildings still remain as reminders of the Gimbels era. Gimbels has been seen in many movies and TV shows. Just recently, Gimbels has appeared in The Goldbergs. Erica was portrayed as working as a cashier in Gimbels' Philadelphia store. The series, set in the 1980s, also depicts the closing of Gimbels. So what are some of your favorite memories of this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. Be sure to hit that like button. Thanks for watching.